Neil Sims from Clarendon Fund Managers. We're an FCA approved fund manager who've been the most active venture capital investor in Northern Ireland over the last 16 years. Over that period we've invested over 27 million into 67 companies, which has helped them leverage over 130 million of funding over that period of time. We've got a current active portfolio of 40 portfolio companies, and we're investing in 6 to 8 new companies a year out of our current fund, which is CoFund NI. So CoFund NI is a £30.7 million fund. 13 million of that was invested into CF1 portfolio companies over the 6-year period to May of last year. The other 17.7 million has been invested over a 6-year period to May 2023. Over that period, the 7 years to date, we've invested 15 million of the 30.7 million into 48 companies. In CF1 companies, they're typically in a sort of expansion or exit planning mode at the minute. CF2 companies tend to be in an earlier stage. We're reserving a bit more money for follow-on investment activity. The main features of CF1 are we invest alongside private investors on a deal-by-deal basis. So we match against business angels, syndicates of private investors, private institutions where they're wholly from private sources, and corporate investors. We will take the lead of the private investors in assessing deal opportunities. We can only really engage with companies whenever they've identified a critical mass of private investment. We will help fill out rounds where appropriate, and in follow-on rounds of existing portfolio companies we're heavily involved in fundraising activity. So the main thing about CoFund NI is that we will match against private investors, which includes business angels, syndicates of private investors, corporate investors and institutional investors where they're sourced from wholly private funds. So we'll take the lead of private investors in terms of doing deals, and we'll match against them on a deal-by-deal basis. The investment comes in the form of a direct investment from Invest NI, which is supported by the ERDF. We target investment range of funding round size of between 250 and 500k, and over the 141 deals that we've done to date, the average investment round size has been about 450k. Our average direct investment is about 100k matched by private matching funds of 200k into each deal. Because we're matching against private investors on a deal-by-deal basis, we don't have set parameters. We do what you would expect from a generalist venture capital fund in the sense of typically ICT companies into sectors such as cybersecurity, where we've invested in Titan IC, and fintech such as Ditactics, in areas that Northern Ireland is starting to build a reputation for sort of excellence in certain areas of ICT. Because we're matching against private investors who are quite varied, we're also doing deals that are less typical of a generalist venture capital fund. So we've done some biotech investment like SciSaf, we've done some consumer products like Boatyard Distillery, and some industrial like the likes of MSO.